Hey there, welcome to another development log for Blink. It's Monday around 6 p.m., just got off of work, and I'm going to kick off this week by finishing something that I started but did not complete last week, actually yesterday on Sunday, and that is the splash screen for my game, and hopefully the splash screen for all my games going forward. I kind of halfway implemented it. It looks good on some devices but not on others, so I need to go back and refactor the way I'm handling various screen sizes, and that's what I'm going to get started on. I'll let you guys know once I have some progress. That took me way longer than I thought it would. It's now 7 o'clock, but we have a good finished product. This is the smaller screen on which my previous animations worked. As you can see, it looks about the same as before, and when I kick things up to a higher resolution where they previously did not work, everything still looks fine. What I pretty much had to do here was just rip out all of the animations that I had created within the Unity editor in favor of kind of hand coding those animations and using some programmatic values to define where things should start out based on the screen size. This might look a little crazy to some of you guys. It's probably not the best way to do it, but it makes sense to me and it works, so I'm happy with it. So I've been working pretty much since I got home from my day job, and I made a lot of progress this evening, so I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Welcome back, everyone. It is Tuesday afternoon, just got off of work, and it's time for a little bit of game dev. I was initially going to work on the tutorial or how-to or controls section for Blink, but to be honest, I don't really know what that's going to look like yet. I need to do some more brainstorming. However, in the meantime, I'm going to make a slight improvement to how the player is rewarded for a perfect circle fill. You may remember from last week that we changed up the way our sounds and our particles were working. Rather than just being based on accuracy, they're now based on how well you consistently fill circles accurately. So as you have one more accurate circle fill after another, the sound gets higher and higher and you get more and more particles. However, that means when you're at the beginning of the cadence like this, you get an accurate circle fill, you see almost nothing, and I don't think that's good user experience. So here's the plan to make perfect circle fills a bit more exciting for the user. The first thing I'm going to do is vibrate the handheld device when they get a perfect circle fill, which I may already be doing. I'm also going to change the particle color to probably blue or just something different than the default particle color. And I'm also going to add about 50 or so particles, no matter which tier of the progression you're on, just so no matter what, you see a big explosion. And if you happen to be like at the top range of the sequence and you get a perfect circle fill, you're just going to get a ton of particles and there'll be a new color, which I think will be really cool. By the way, before I get started, I upgraded my project to Unity 2019.1 because that just came out either today or yesterday. And like me, you might have a main scene that has like a bunch of dumb looking canvases here that totally cover up something that I might actually want to see. And now in the editor over next to the scene hierarchy, you see these little eye icons on the left side. You can hide these canvases or really just game objects. And it doesn't affect like whether or not they're active, it just hides them here on the scene. I love this. It makes it look way less cluttered. Thank you, developers at Unity. All right, let's get to work on our tasks. All right, so as I thought might be the case, when I'm recording my circle fill here, I check for if we got the super accuracy tier, which I'm considering to be a perfect fill. And if that's the case, I vibrate the handheld. So that's already taken care of. Let's go ahead and work on changing the particle colors. All right, for the color of the particles, I did something pretty similar. Where I previously just passed the number of particles into this explode function, I'm now passing whether or not the accuracy was perfect. If we take a look inside here, we'll go over to my target circle class. And here in explode, I added two lines. Basically, we just changed the color of the particle system renderer, both the particles and the trail material, based on whether or not it was a perfect fill. So we've got a default color and a perfect color that I have defined above. Also, when I'm recording my circle fill here, I call something called handle fill streak, which is right below it. This is where my logic lives that determines whether or not the player is on a streak of filling circles with an accuracy of high or super. And it's also where I decide how many particles I want to show for their particular streak. In this case, for a perfect accuracy tier, I want to add about 50 or so particles. So I'll do if accuracy tier equals super, and we'll just do particles plus equals 50. Now this should probably be a constant or something that I'm defining at the top, but for right now this will work and should give me the desired effect. That wasn't too bad to get all those changes hooked up, so let's see how they look by hopefully getting some perfect circle fills. And right off the bat there, we got our small note at the beginning of the streak, but we saw a bigger particle explosion, and the particles and the trails were both blue. I think that looks pretty cool. It might not be totally apparent to the user that that's what's happening in terms of them getting a perfect circle fill, but hopefully they'd figure it out along with the vibration. I think that looks pretty cool, so time to figure out what we're going to do next. If you guys have any more thoughts about how I can improve the perfect circle fill experience for the user, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to chat about it and get some more ideas on how to make that a little bit more rewarding. In the meantime, it's super nice outside. I'm happy that I made some progress today, so I might just take the afternoon off and enjoy some free time. Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday around 6:30, and the plan this morning is to try and knock out some version of the how-to tutorial thing for Blink. I've got an idea of how I'm going to do it. It should be pretty simple. So I'm going to try and knock it out this morning, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so here's what we've come up with. If we go ahead and start the game, we'll see some text appear at the bottom that says drag the bug towards the circle and release when the circles match. That stays on the screen for about 5 seconds and then slides off the bottom. Now that text will only appear if you have never played more than 5 rounds since installing the game and have never scored more than 20 points. If you meet either of those requirements, then you'll never see the text because I assume you know how to play the game, and you'll be good to go. That's obviously a very simplistic implementation, so my question for you guys is, do you think that's enough for a first-time player? I think the gameplay mechanics in Blink are so simple that I shouldn't really need much more than that, and for that reason I really don't want to spend too much time on any kind of fancy interactive tutorial. So just let me know what you guys think. I think I'm going to stick with it for now, and if I need to, I'll revisit it later. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for today, guys. I've got about 45 minutes before I need to get ready for work, so I'm just going to relax and enjoy some coffee. And tonight I've got volleyball, so no more time for dev. Catch up with you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is around 6 a.m. on Friday morning, so we got an early start today, and I got a few things I want to work on this morning. The first of those is tweaking the bat spawning. Right now, too many bats spawn near the beginning of the round, and I want them to be introduced kind of later in the round as you get further and further. So I need to make some changes there, and I also want to test a couple different screen sizes to make sure that my canvases are all laid out correctly. Now, neither of these things are too interesting. I don't know how much of an update I'll have afterwards, but either way, I'm going to get started on that now. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick tip if you're trying to make a couple of canvases work on a number of different screen sizes like I am with like a bunch of different mobile phones. You can see my player unlocks canvas looks really bad here. This is on an iPhone 5S, so a pretty small screen and landscape layout. One quick way to fix this is to just click on your canvas and look at the canvas scaler. This defaults to a constant pixel size, but if you change that over to scale with screen size, then it kind of instantly looks a lot better. Now this works for me because I laid all this stuff out initially with the game set to 1920 by 1080, so I can provide that as my reference resolution and everything looks really great. I went ahead and did that to all of my canvases, and that actually solved literally every problem that I had right now with my canvas layouts. The one downfall I see is that this text might end up being really small on an actual device, but I'll test that. I do have an iPhone 5 available to me, so we'll just have to check that out. Hope this helps somebody. So I made some necessary improvements to the bat spawner, and I also got all my canvases looking nice on various different screen sizes. That's about all I had planned for this morning, so I think I'm going to take the next hour or so before work and just drink some coffee and play some Division. As far as tonight goes, we're supposed to have extremely severe thunderstorms where I live, so I'll probably have my computer unplugged and won't make much more progress today. Of course, if that changes, I'll let you know. In any case, I will see you guys tomorrow. Morning, everyone. It's Saturday around 7 a.m. The storms last night didn't end up being that bad, and everything's just beautiful and green this morning. It's awesome. Anyway, as always, I'm going to go climbing in a little bit, but before I do that, I want to get a little bit of dev work done. I think the last thing I want to work on for this week's video is some kind of about page for Blink, and that would just have a link to probably my YouTube channel in case you wanted to follow along with development. Maybe a link to the privacy policy just because I'm showing advertisements and I want to be as compliant as possible with any concerns around that. let's get to it. Well, I've done so many canvases at this point that I can power through a new one pretty quickly. You can see I've now got an about button here on my title screen canvas. I might change up the entry point for this at some point, but I don't mind it being underneath the unlocks button right now. When we tap that, this is really simple right now. It just says follow along with Blink's development on YouTube. You see a big play button that you can tap. If you tap that, it takes you, of course, to my YouTube channel and a little thank you for playing. Like I said, I might end up putting a privacy policy or something on here. But for now, I just want to give the user a way to check out these videos if they want to see how I made this game. I think it turned out well. Well, I think it's about time to wrap up the video for this week. We made a whole bunch of progress, and I'm really excited by, the fact that we're just getting close to the end of development here. Next week, I'm really going to focus on playing Blink on my mobile devices, specifically my phone and my tablet, and we'll be making any particular gameplay tweaks that we want to make sure that experience is as engaging as possible. As always, I'd love to hear feedback from you guys, whether it be about the game or the videos, or if you just want to talk about game dev. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.